Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included, episode 14. Scenario rules, goals, reminder. But it's up in the description if you need to read it. Picking up where we left off, we had just set up a dustcap mushroom farm, which is all well and good. I guess you could say pleased by it. And that will start feeding us good K-cows so that our dupes don't starve. The next thing I want to do is, oh man, calling it Don't Starve. There's a little irony in that. The next thing I want to do is to really work towards the hydrogen setup for the ranch. So I'm going to make sure that, all right, for now, all of my stone hatchling eggs get omeleted, I guess is the most polite way to put it. I am starting to dig out this space for where my airlock setup is going to go. Another thing I want to do is move my gas pump and filter setup. So I'm going to put the gas pump here, the gas filter here, and if it's fresh oxygen, so we'll run pipes like this. If it's fresh oxygen, we will up like this, or down and over to the new airlocks. And if it's not oxygen, we'll just dump it on out down here. Great. I also will probably want a oxygen diffuser right next to the pump. So we'll set that up as well, which means that all of this setup here is going to be defunct. So I'm going to blow this up significantly. And this will open up additional space for more suits for my main airlock when I want it. Which is, you know, part of the reason I'm moving things. I'm also going to put this on a switch so I could flip it off when I see fit, because not always do I need everything running. I do want to run the oxygen diffuser constantly, but sometimes I don't want the gas pump and filter. And the filter, of course, is filtering out breathable oxygen. And then this vent will run up like this. So as you can see, there is some venting around here. You know what? Actually, we could make this even nicer looking. There. Hide a little bit more of its internal guts behind the ladder. Just aesthetic differences. Doesn't functionally make much difference. Alright, so we got that set up. Let's take a look at ventilation. So another thing I wanted to do is to address the ever-growing polluted oxygen problem I've got up here near my dump. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to melt ices, or maybe not melt them at all. It's possible that that is the decision we go with, just leaving the polluted ice in the ice biomes and just don't touch it, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now, there's a lot of ways to heat up liquids. You could store, like, let's say I was tapping into the gold volcano here. I could obviously store hot gold in the volcano, and it would be, you know, a pretty functional way of cooling off that ice. Almost overkill, if you ask me. Okay. So I could have run the gas vent all the way to the carbon skimmer, and there's really no reason for me not to. I'm going to run this until the pipes are full. So we have a pretty sizable... Here, let me just say no more polluted ice. Polluted ice, be gone. So we have a lot of liquids that need to heat up, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I got bigger fish to fry. Another thing I wanted to do, which is going to be pretty easy, is break this down. and set up a... Oops. Set up this aquifer here to be used for water, rather than our fresh supply. It's not necessary, but I might as well. And that way, I only have one pump going. I'm not pumping water to water. I'm just pumping water once. And then while we set that up, we'll continue over here. Now, one thing I wanted to do is let's queue up the suits. 2 Atmos suits, I think, will be enough for our... It's probably more than enough, but let's do 2 Atmos suits anyway. So this spot here is all set up for a checkpoint, right? So I'm going to have a checkpoint with 2 suits. So the checkpoint will go here. But I am going to basically cancel the build. So what I want to do is set up a superior water lock. Now, it's superior in that it takes up less space and is quicker to move through. But it's very, very vulnerable to disruption. And once I have it built, it'll make more sense to you. So I'm going to blow up some of the floor here and replace a little bit with mesh tile. Actually, I'm going to set up the mesh tile even lower. No, the mesh tile where it was fine. Okay. Let's speed time back up. Now this can get a little messy. The setup is a little annoying, but the net result is a very superior airlock in travel time, but not so much in its, disruption ability. So what I mean by disruption ability is it would be very, very difficult for these airlocks to fail. Basically, it would require me mopping up this liquid until I've screwed it up, right? I mean, that's pretty much the only way these airlocks will fail. The one I'm setting up now, here, let me just cancel this. This is kind of in the way. The one I'm going to set up now can be disrupted if a spill travels in. So, not great. So the way to do this is, first we need to put a heavier liquid as the primary drip. And for this one, I'm going to do polluted water. I'm going to make sure that the polluted water I'm going to use for this isn't dangerous polluted water. So I'm going to mop up some polluted water around here. I'm going to set this to a 9. So we definitely mop it up. And then I'm going to set the dump here to a 9. So that we drop it off. Now, another way to heat up this water here that is really, really, really cold is to mop up this hotter polluted water and just dump it into the tap here. And maybe that's the method I'm going to use temporarily. So as you're going to see at my water lock, there's a little bit of polluted water sitting here. That's pretty much all the polluted water I need. I'm going to dump a little bit more. There we go. Teeny little polluted water. And as you can see, there's catch basins so it doesn't leak everywhere. The next thing I want to do is regular water. And I want to find a source of a little regular water that is not... here we go. That is not so high volume. Because if I enable auto bottle from the pitcher pump, or enable auto bottle here, they'll dump a ton of regular water. I don't want a ton of regular water. It's actually very, very important for it to be low volume. And this will be for cleanup purposes only. Oh, we've got a food poisoning. Copious free time. Got food poisoning. How? Let's see. Consumables. copious free time, probably ate bad muckroot or something like that. Actually, it came out of this bin because he was standing here. I'm guessing. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what he ate. But I had curative tablets, so he's already cured. He took a tablet and immediately got cured. And I think I was given an achievement for that. Let's see. Yep, they got better. That was pretty instant. Pretty painless. Alright, so we bottled up some of this water. And as you can see, Sine Curve here is delivering it. Once I deliver it, it's going to create a vertical lock here. All I have to do is mop up the remainder. Let's stop enabling auto bottle. Mop up the remainder. Break everything down. And through the magical powers that is oxygen not included, we have an airlock here with only a few grams of water, right? There's only like 65 grams of water. But it creates a perfect airlock that doesn't require like a climbing up-down travel time. And then we can fill the floors back in. It's fully functional. Now the problem, of course, here is if, let's say, a liquid spills into here, like someone has a mess or something, it could screw up the airlock, and that would mean all of the hydrogen would be able to freely flow into the base. So it has some faults, but, you know, it's pretty superior. One thing I want to do is, let's go and deal with this, puddle of cold here. I'm going to actually, it seems silly, but I don't want a puddle of cold building up the way it is. I'm going to purposely mop up some of this polluted water, dump it into here so that we can actually heat this up a bit. Equalize the temperature a bit. So now we've got the airlock. We've got both suits. I'm going to process some additional copper so that we can... Oh, one who's many. Let's give you improved carry. So that we can build the checkpoints. And then we'll have a space that we'll start setting up as a Draco farm. And here's the first mushroom harvest, which is going to be great for our K-Cals. Alright, this is kind of overflowing, so I'm going to do some damage to my sieve, for better or for worse, in order to protect from spillovers. Because, yeah, there's going to be significant cold damage going through there. And a spill, as a result. It's not what you like to see. But, if I do melt polluted ice in the future, I will engineer a solution where it doesn't spill over like this and cause mop-ups, because mop-ups are annoying to deal with. And they do sometimes cause stress, because having soggy feet is a stressor. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to stop. We're not in an overflow situation. I could go ahead and mop up. Oh, we can't even reach it now. Yeah, that would be my fault. We can't even... yeah, we can then mop up the remainder of this, dump it in, have it equalize temperature, and pump the rest. And I've already taken the polluted ice liquefiables off of the acceptable list for the storage bin. So that will not be an issue anymore. Alright, so next thing, stations. So we want the checkpoint. I'll put the suit checkpoint here. And then suit docks 1 and 2. And then ventilation for them here. And then power for them here. Get that all built up. And once we have that all set up, we'll then be able to build out a Draco ranch area to allow our duplicants to... Whoa, we got some streaking. Angelia's very happy. Drucker Ranch area to allow our duplicants, you know, quick travel. Into a hydrogenated environment. It's kind of a weird way of putting it. Alright, let's mop up the remainder of this. Free floating water, and then we'll dig towards the hydrogen as well. So, deliver suit. And deliver suit. Alright, my other Atmos suit docks are only set to 5. That's fine. I'll leave it. So those suits, as soon as they're delivered, I guess what I need to do is start to pump oxygen to them. So if you take a look at the ventilation, this fork here splits it 50-50. And then this fork splits it 50-50. So all suit docks will fill up with oxygen sort of equally. So that they all just got delivered suits now. So hypothetically, we are able to travel to this area. What I want here is just immediately a grooming station. Before I put the grooming station down, let me dig up some of this top stuff that I don't necessarily want as part of the ranch. So here, as you can see, our airlock is... Obviously, these two gases are the same, but you'll have to take my word on it. They're perfectly working. Actually, I don't even really need this. We were able to reach. And then another thing I'm going to want to do is set up a ranch of maximum size. So we'll want a grooming station. I'll make it out of gold, I don't really care. And then for ease of use, or ease of access, let's do farm tiles. And then I don't really care that we're breaching... As long as our dupes can't go from this area to this area, I don't really care that there's going to be a temporary breach here. Actually, you know what I might want to do? It's really a lot less of a commute if I sweep before we drop the farm tiles. So let me sweep up right now. Because as soon as I mine this out, it drops. And this stuff down here is a much longer commute than up here. So now that I've got one food poisoning incident, I might want to get an apothecary. That's another TBD thing to do. But we're bingo power. That's the next big project, is improved power grid. So for all the suggestions that you all made, as nice as they are, I don't think anything is more important than a more robust power grid, in my opinion. Unless I have, like, starvation or something like that. But with all the fried mushrooms I just yielded. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to deactivate the Bristle Blossom farm. The Bristle Blossoms do consume a fair bit of water per cycle. They're a water hog. And then also, they require a light. The light's not all that important because it doesn't draw a lot of power. But they're a bit of a water hog, and if I could subsist 100% on the dust caps, it's a happier food for people to eat, and all it really uses, as you can see, dust caps here, they just use slime. They're not even consuming the carbon dioxide. Actually, most plants don't breathe, for that matter. Only oxiferns do. No, I could be wrong about that. Alright, so we've got the grooming station now set up. And I am going to set up the mealwood. Now, mealwood here, as you can see, requires an atmosphere of oxygen or carbon dioxide, or polluted oxygen. And the the Drekos to regrow their coats. Oh, and they're getting cramps, so let's kill one off. The Drekos to regrow their coats only grow in hydrogen environments. So I don't want to perfectly airlock this or vacuum it out and make it 100% hydrogen. The problem with 100% hydrogen would be that the plants would die off. Oh boy, let's get some more fried mushrooms. I think at this point, okay, I've already canceled out frost buns. Let's see if, forget lettuce, forget pickled meals, gristleberries and fried mushrooms plus only. That's all we're going to eat for everybody now. I think we have plenty of consumables to sustain us on the nice stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the... I'm actually going to mine this out. It might be better... Let's see. Let's delete this. Might actually be better if the farm tiles were as low as they could be, because hydrogen is going to rise comparative to oxygen. And the millwood requires oxygen, polluted oxygen, and carbon dioxide to subside, or to subsist, to grow, whatever. But it won't consume it. So I'm going to put my mealwood down here. And the Drekos will freely be able to travel around. So the other stations they're going to want is a shearing station. And then we'll want a critter drop-off station. So I have 10 farm tiles up there. Let's do 10 farm tiles down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll obviously want the room to be a full 96 tiles. And then another thing I'm going to need... Actually, I'm going to move this. Sorry, Mr. Station. The grooming station I'm going to set up here. And I'm going to put the critter drop-off. And then I also want to put a pneumatic door, which is just for looks only, but it's to designate the room properly. There. And we'll just leave it open. It's so that the space has a proper designation. I can create walls here. Alright, so we're getting the farm set up. We'll plant the millwood seeds. Drop off spot. Now, the only worry here, of course, is if our dupes have an accident in their suits and they hang the suit back up here, the suit will leak out and disrupt this water lock. So the real question is, do I want to engineer a failsafe, like a trough pit, to collect the liquid? I may. I may just leave that in there, so any liquid that drops from the suit, because it doesn't take a lot of time to hop a gap there. In fact, I can also have it be an unobstructed mesh tile. That would be even better. And then it dumps into the power station, but like big whoop. I can mop up a power station. That's a lot better than having my my water lock disrupted. In fact, we could even do a mesh tile on the other side, for the same reason. So these mesh tiles, I haven't really used them much, but they do not obstruct the flow of gas or liquid. So liquids pass through them. So if we had a spill here, it would pass right into our power station and not disrupt this water lock. And that's probably the way to construct these things. It's already queued for deconstruction, so I actually want just a normal platform there. Give us something to stand on, you know? So I haven't actually done the counting, if this is going to be the fully proper amount of tiles. And the other thing is the hydrogen vents will be very, 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 very hot. The atmosuit the atmosuits that we wear will help protect us, but I am going to need to cool it down because Drecos here have a temperature tolerance. They can live up to 80°C, but they're comfortable to 60°C. And we want to ideally keep them comfortable. And then the other thing is, we will need to, let's just cancel this sweep up. The copper ore I kind of want, but everything else I don't care about. Well, actually, the eggshells I do, because we'll want lime. You crush eggshells into lime. We'll mop this up here, have this as a 7, and then we'll start digging towards the hydrogen. And before we crack into the hydrogen vent itself, we'll set up a duct, just an open duct, which means we'll want like airflow tiles here. I'll build the airflow tiles eventually. First, I want to make sure that my dimensions of this ranch are adequate, meaning that we construct it, and then probably have a door and a water lock on the other side here, so that if we do want to travel this way, we are able to, passing through the ranch, because there is additional capacity here for more suits if I move this filtration system, this suit fill system. All right, let's check back. Oh, we have a bit of a spill. This polluted water here is almost above freezing, where we'll be able to pump it through the sieve and not run into any issues. And then the water in our water reclamation system is nice and cold. The kind of cold that we want. Mohammed. Ooh. Let's give you hard digging. And make sure that you, for priorities, I'd rather have you supplying, storing, and tidying, but when not, digging is fine. Alright, we can't reach that, but we'll be able to in a second. Now, there would be a good argument to be made to set up insulated tiles here, but I don't think I'm going to have much of an issue cooling down the hydrogen. I could be wrong. They could be famous last words. I don't know. But we'll see if I'm right. And go with the easier approach rather than the more complex one. So this is roughly the dimensions. This is 93 tiles large. So I'm going to want to add a little bit of extra space to this. It could be as simple as something akin to this. So I'll be setting up a pneumatic door here, and then the same identical water lock as we set up over here, which means probably a mesh tile here. But we'll wait for this to get completed. Man, this mop errand is... What priority is it? Oh, it's 5. That's why it's being ignored. It's a low priority. We'll kick it up a bit higher. Alright, this polluted water is... it's almost... Some of it is... yeah, it's eking towards above freezing. Of course, if we... If we swept up this polluted water, it would... You know, the heated water would obviously work pretty well. Oh, the things I do for a ranch. Alright, dimensions of this is 1 too large. That's an easy fix. I could just put a singular corner. I'll just do it like that. I don't even care if it's like nice and fancy and perfectly symmetrical or whatever. I just care about the footage, right? That's my concern. Alright, so let's sweep this bad boy up. And now this is a maximum size ranch ready to go for our Dreco. The other thing here is I'm going to want airflow tile here. And then where my geyser is, I'm going to be channeling in just walls the hydrogen to my farm, because hydrogen will rise and it will just automatically get there on its own without really me having to ventilate it, pump it, anything like that. It's cheaper. Why make it complicated? Here's a blueprint. More oxyfern, sure. I'm sure I'll have a use for oxyfern in the future. Alright, so this pump looks all set, so I'm going to disable this one. And speaking of disabling, let's go ahead and disable all of these farms here. And see if we can't, if we don't have enough mushrooms. I could probably calculate it with just math, but given the growth rate of dust caps, the kcal yields, and the food needs, but it's easier just to, you know, deactivate. Alright, liquid pipe. So we're gonna, now we're drawing from this body of water, and not this one, so that we can, in the far future, use this space once we use up all that water. And then the other thing is, I'm going to disable auto harvest on all these because they're for Drecos to eat, not for us to harvest. Apparently, I am inferior at clicking. Okay. So now, the mining of the nasty stuff. Let's mine it down 2 levels at a time so that we can not have gaps or anything like that. So get the slime out of the way so we don't have like slime lung carrying hydrogen or anything like that. Just fully keep it safe. See, our suits are full, so let's turn off the pump. And then on the other side of this bad boy, we're going to have the same sort of water lock setup. That is a little bit less important for me to get queued. But I'll put in the bare bones mechanics for it. Looking something like that. We can leave this door open. Alright, now the slime is being mined out. And we're going to want to sweep it up. Because I'm sure there is some There's some slime lung being carried to the first storage bin here. But as you can see, yeah, our decontamination protocols are working perfectly. You know what? On further examination, I really won't need that to be a mesh tile. And these water locks don't slow you down. Because they're behind Atmosuit docks, they don't get your feet wet. They're sort of perfect. Providing they don't fail. That's a big providing. Oh, you know, I did fail at this, though. Hold on a minute. We want to build this so that this doesn't drain drip. But as you can see, I would need to deliver. All right, let's keep on mining. I'm also mining out a tile or two to the left and right so that we don't have anything touching for our vents. So they're, you know, there's a bit of a gap, I guess, is a way to put it. Here we go, the beautiful farm's getting set up. Our ranch. Still properly sized. And at this point, what I could start to do is drop my glossy Drecklets and Drekos here. And leave my regular ones, which is funny because actually they're not set up. Leave my regular ones here. So I'm going to wrangle the glossies and separate them out. I'm going to leave the eggs, though. I could set up an incubator, but an incubator costs a lot of power. And again, my power grid right now is the pits. It's pretty bad because I've neglected and ignored it. So forgive me if I don't set up an incubator and just let the glossy eggs hatch on their own. Now, another thing that might be useful is to set up storage bins of dirt here in the farm to cut down travel time. So that a hauler can just haul... Oh, there's the glossy. A hauler could just haul one giant thing of dirt. What is it? Dirt. And all the amount that I've played, I'm like, what is dirt classified as? It's cultivatable soil. Yeah, dirt. Of course it is. Alright, and set this to 9 so that this is a priority place to store dirt. And that will just help to fertilize these more quickly. Because our haulers can bring dirt in large bulk. Far more than the multiple trips filling up these little tiles require. Yeah, our fried mushrooms are ridiculously high. 50k kcals. That's good. That's real good. Alright, so let's sweep this up so I can keep digging down. I want to sweep it up because otherwise these resources are really going to be lost. Functionally lost if I don't. You know, alternatively, I could have a... No, I couldn't have a manual airlock because the Drekos would travel through it. Alright, let's keep sweeping, especially the Buddy Bud. And then another thing I'm going to need is to move a significant amount of these Wheezeworts, which has been sort of passively, mostly inefficiently, but passively cooling out our water. Ooh, we have idleness. Hot damn. Dennis Keith, you're enjoying some iron ore? Oh, there you go. Bye-bye. Yeah, so that's a obvious. We'll need to. I don't know why I left these doors open. Draco's like, ranch, what's that? And totally walked on beyond the bounds. What I could do is have just a pneumatic door here instead. We'll set that up. And this will lead to the gas tunnel, or whatever you want to call it. I think granite's probably the local tile here. The local stone that we can tap into. So as you can see, I'm setting up just a place for this to outgas straight up into our farm, where we'll set up Wheezeworts and cool it down. I may also have to just pump some of the oxygen out here, because this is actually pretty high pressure oxygen, to make room for the hydrogen. It'll find its way up there, but I want the glossy Drecos to... actually, you don't have to wrangle this. I want the glossy Drecos to spend more time, as much time as possible in hydrogenated environments, so that they can benefit from regrowing their coats. And we have a lot of eggs. Oh, cramped glum friends. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to storage bin here. Temporary storage bin. But I'm going to put glossy Dreclet eggs in there, and then I'm going to dump them out. So that our Dreco farm is... Because we still might want some additional reed fibers from the Dreco farm. So just set it up so that they can get the reed fibers they want. So at the moment, this tunnel does break decontamination protocols. And I would need to break these ladders down to prevent that. Because I don't want this potentially infected stuff to be carried over and carried in this way. This is not a valid path for them. Okay, we got some new printables. Okay, we'll crack them open. Actually, you know what? Let's stop cracking them. This is a perfectly fine temporary farm for for meat. I'm really, honestly, just meat farming at this point here. Room size could be bigger. I don't want to get that close to the slime, though. Well, I'm trying to think if it's worth properly setting up a Dreco farm for barbecue, or if I want to just eventually double up the Dreco farm down here, tap into hydrogen and put it here, or something like that. Which is probably the better solution so that they will grow their coats. So what I was going to do here is a critter egg, glossy Dreclet egg. I'm going to sweep up the Dreclet eggs from this area. And put them down here so that our Drecos up there are not cramped. Wow. My mushroom farm is ridiculously productive. As I sort of expected it would be, hence canceling the bristle blossoms. Okay, there's a little bit of polluted water that I can sweep. I like that it's low volume, so let's put polluted water here. And sweep it before we lose the opportunity for the low volume of polluted water. So that's 200 kilograms. That's a little bit more than I wanted. But our polluted water in... Okay, so let's go ahead and cancel that. But this stuff is above freezing, albeit barely, so we would be able to pump it. If I had power to do it. That's embarrassing. What is this? This is... Yeah, this is low volume. So set this down to, oh yeah, there we are, and set this back up. Before I end this episode, I just want to finish that water lock. So someone please pick up this tiny, tiny bottle of polluted water. Oh my god, they're not doing it. There. Move to here. Thank you. Oh, but you picked up the rest. Oh, well, alright, whatever. I'll have some mopping to do. I'm not going to min-max this quite that much. Alright, so we are sweeping up these tubes. And soon we'll be ready for... what I need to do now is ladder this over. So we can mine up the rest. We're getting pretty close. Alright, so now we'll just need to dump some regular old water over here. Do we have a... Oh, yeah, we have this low puddle here. Perfect. And I'll run this a little bit longer, because I do want to see this... At least this water lock finished. The hydrogen Dreco ranch is going to have to come at a different time, sadly. Oh, they're breaking containment protocols with this ladder. Okay. I just manually checked in this instance if it's safe, and it is. So it's okay. They didn't have anything polluted on their hands. Alright, so we got that water, and you should be delivering it. Don't deliver it over here. Deliver it there. Alright, let's cancel this sweep. Put the sweep to 9. Oh, no, that's not the sweep. Put the sweep to 9. Someone will pick it up. We also just got a new skill. Angelia, we'll give you more strength. Magenta Fairy, more strength. The stronger our guys are going to... The stronger our guys become, the more efficient they are at tidying up. So there's the water lock. Mopping up the mess. And then we're left with just a perfect water lock that allows for quick travel. Alright, picking up the slime from the correct side of... everything, you know, making sure that we're not picking up from the dangerous side. And what's important when you're doing this for low volume is to make sure that you have low volume so you can actually mop it up. Because if you dumped, let's say, like 800 kilograms of polluted water, you would not be able to mop it up. It would be too much water for a single mop schedule. All right, well, that's about 5 minutes over. I worked towards the Dreco farm. As you can see, it's really taking shape. I wanted to just appreciate all of the feedback I'm getting from you all. A lot of it is quite useful, and I've been using it and writing it down and memorizing it and keeping it to heart. If you have any feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. Thank you all so very much for watching. I guess I'll see you next episode. Adios, friends.